Right, I'm here at RSA and look where I am. It's the Commvault booth. I'm super excited because they have something like an experience that we can get. So I'm excited to be here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and meet someone from Commvault, get the experience, and let's do some chatting. Let's do this.
All right, let's give a big round of applause. All right, so your paying attention. Everyone's going to get a
Welcome to the Robert Show. We are here at RSAC, and see, look who are with me. Gareth, welcome to the Robert Show.
Robert, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited. My first time on the show, so go easy on me, mate, all right?
Yeah, for sure. You're flying in from Australia.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the jet lag.
Thank you very much. I'm trying really hard to adjust my sleep, but there's just so much excitement and energy happening at RSA San Francisco. So, yeah, man, it's going to be a great week.
Totally, and I've been seeing you obviously so busy with obviously the customers, but not only just that, the CISOs, the enterprise leaders here, and at the recovery range as well. We're going to get into it,
All right.
but just for our audience, would you like to introduce yourself, tell us more about what you do at Commvault?
I'd love to. Hi, everybody. Fantastic to be on the Ravish Show. I'm Gareth Russell. I'm a field CTO based in Australia, and I look after the entire APAC region. So essentially, working with customers, understanding their pain points, what's happening in the marketplace, what's the trends that are coming up. But I'm really focused from a cyber resiliency perspective, so I love having the security conversation. Yeah, that's about it.
I love it. Gareth, thanks for sharing that. I'm kind of curious since I was at the recovery range this morning and I did experience the whole 45 minutes. I didn't get a chance to do the full 2.5 hour workshop, but then those 45 minutes were game changer. And instead of me going and telling about the experience, I would love for you to tell us more about what is recovery range, why is that necessary? And can you tell us more about it?
I'd love to. So the recovery range is our Commvault take on the really classic traditional cyber range. So for those of you out here that have been on a cyber range before, it's typically an exercise between a red team and a blue team. You detonate an attack, you go through, you discover it, you eradicate it, you clean it up, and you kind of go from that process. But the really super cool thing that we're doing at Commvault is we're taking that exercise just one step further.
Yep.
So rather than you still go through the attack, the emotion of the attack, you understand what's happened, how it's impacted your environment, but then inside the range, we take you through the steps of what it actually means to recover. Right?
Yeah.
And I've never seen that before. I've been in a lot of ranges. I've kind of gone through these exercises many times. But to really kind of understand what you need to do to recover and how you start really bridging the gaps between security operation teams and IT operation teams as well.
Yeah, no, I like it. And that's exactly what I was kind of looking there as well when, I was experiencing the complete recovery range where, okay, you're the data team who's kind of, obviously worried about their data being leaked, but at the same time, here's the security team. And how do you kind of get these two teams to be working together is very important.
Yeah, for sure. And I think a big part of that, that kind of collaboration is, well, how do you share the data, right? Like, how do you understand the telemetry and the signals? Like, what's happening in the environment that you can help bridge that gap? And, it's a really important part to make sure that you have your data protection tools, such as Commvault, integrated into your security operations. So they can really understand, what's happening, the fidelity of those alerts, all of those signals coming into the environment, and then you know what? Ravid, they can start actioning, right?
Exactly.
And they can work together as a team to really start kind of actioning those events.
Yeah, and I could see, obviously there were customers who were attending this recovery range. What are they talking about? How excited they are with this?
Yeah, they're looking at the opportunity to kind of get those teams working together, get those teams collaborating, but also making sure that both sides or all of those teams, they understand what the other team is doing.
Very important.
And so, historically, everyone's got lots of playbooks, lots of operating procedures, all of those processes, but actually being able to see at a technical level, okay, here's the attack. Oh, this is what happens when you start looking at privilege escalation and lateral movement. Okay, here's where we're going to look at a recovery point. How do we know that recovery point's clean? Which one should I choose? And so that entire life cycle it doesn't. It's kind of front to back, right? And that's the real power of the range. And it's not a simulation.
Yeah.
Like today, what we saw.
Exactly. It is
live attack,
live.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is what that kind of I was so intrigued and I was so interested to see something which is where I'm going to experience it live there. And I was the captain, so I was happy.
I want you the captain at my table as well. The Ravi Show captain for sure. Yes.
Thank you. So Gareth, I also have an interesting question. Since we are here at RSA, obviously you're meeting a lot of CISOs, you're meeting a lot of enterprise leaders. What are they excited about? What are they talking?
Yeah, so there's a lot of discussion throughout RSA, and I think where we're seeing at the moment is how do you kind of deal with some of like the compliance and regulation. We're seeing a lot of discussions in that process and kind of understanding what does that mean for organizations to have to kind of figure that out. We're seeing a lot of attendees and customers wanting to understand how do I get better at recovery testing. Like, what does that mean? How do I think about all of the assumptions and dependencies and those things in my environment? So really trying to ask those questions. And it's hard, right? Like, it's hard to think through all those different elements that you need to think about from a recovery perspective, a sequencing perspective, and all those decisions that you need to make about, well, where am I going to start that recovery and what environment am I going to use and what data set am I going to use? So all of those elements together, it's much better to be prepared about that process beforehand than trying to figure it out when you're in the middle of a cyber incident, right? That's the last place that you want to try to go through those questions.
Very important, and those are fantastic points. Thanks for those insights. Gareth, one more quick question that I have is around any use cases that come to your mind when you think about, obviously recovery range as a as a launch for the customers or for the different industries as well. Can you share any use cases?
I think some of the use cases that we're seeing, particularly around our hyperscalers and our customers that are using the cloud, is how do I get the visibility and discovery of all of my assets? And what is the dependencies and the interfaces of all of those different components, right? And so you come from this idea that you have a very sometimes simple but sometimes complex architecture of like servers and virtual machines, and then you look at the transition of what that means to put them into the cloud, and you start using native capabilities, right? So all of those different componentry together, how do you get that discovery? How do you understand the interconnectivity? And then what does that mean to make sure that you're protecting it, right?
100%.
Because when something happens and you look at every stat, every statistic, something's going to happen, right? Your ability to have that visibility, that discovery, and the chance to be able to recover that, that's what's going to help you, right?
That's so true, and you obviously made a very interesting point there. Gareth, one more last question that I have for you, and I promise this is the last one, is if folks want to, obviously learn more about recovery range, where can they do that? But at the same time, if they also want to follow you, obviously want to keep learning about the newer announcements that you all make, where can they do that?
Okay, so first of all, make sure everyone is liked and subscribed and they're following you, right?
Okay,
so follow the Ravi Show first, then you can follow me. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm sure we can put a link on there from that sort of stuff. We've got a couple of different entry points for the recovery range. Reach out if you'd like to experience. We've got a couple of different websites that I can provide to you as well. We can put that in there. And I'd love to take that conversation further and talk to some of your listeners and viewers around how we can help in the data protection space and what cyber recovery range can mean for their organization as well.
We love it. This is great, Gareth. I'm pretty sure we'll keep the conversation going.
Absolutely.
But such a pleasure chatting with you. I know it's been crazy busy schedule for you here at RSA, but it's all for protecting the data.
It is. All right, well, have a safe trip home.
You do.
And enjoy the jet lag from that side of things. And I look forward to the next conversation, man.
For
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Such a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.